So here is the thing. We're in a very, very strange place with Modern Warfare right now. And the reason why I say that is because last week we got an updated roadmap for Season 4. They called it Season 4 Reloaded. And in this, they highlighted a new map, a new weapon, a new character, and a bunch of other new game modes that were going to be coming to Modern Warfare. Now, the interesting part about this is in last week's update, update 1.23, almost all of this was added in, like literally almost all of this. The only two things that were not added in is the new character known as Rose, and then the second thing was gunfight tournament. And that's cool and all, that's a really big update, and it's great to see that big of an update come to the game with this much new stuff, but it lends to the question, what the hell is going to be going on with the rest of Season 4? We are literally only midway through Season 4 as of today. There's basically like 4 weeks left in the season, and we don't know anything that is going to be coming besides Rose and gunfight tournaments. And if you ask me, that's not enough to sustain the community for 4 weeks. So our big question is, what is next? Now, before we answer that question, I just wanted to let you guys know that later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be streaming over on Twitch. I try to do this a few times a week. So if you want to check out my Twitch, as always, it is the first link down in the description. And like I said, it's going to start at the normal stream time of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I see you there later tonight. We're going to be playing some Warzone and maybe a little bit of multiplayer as well. So starting out with the obvious two, we know that either this week or next week, we are going to get, first of all, gunfight tournaments and the new character Rose. This is no surprise whatsoever. We already know this is coming. It is in the Season 4 Reloaded roadmap. We know that that is coming. And in fact, as I was making this video, Activision just put out a blog post detailing what is coming this week. And really the main things that we are seeing here is, first of all, gunfight tournaments are confirmed. We didn't see anything about Rose, so it doesn't look like Rose will be coming out this week, so probably next week. There's some new store items being added and just some new game modes like Realism, Gunfight, Dirty Old Houseboat, which is a combination between Rust, Shipment, and Shoot House, and some other playlists that we have seen before. In other words, it's not a giant update, but of course, I will cover that tomorrow. Once the update comes out, I'll give you some in-depth detail as to what is actually coming tomorrow. Aside from that, everything else that we're going to be talking about in this video is actually leaks that people have data mined from the game. There are a lot of them, and a lot of them sound like they're going to be coming in Season 5, so we kind of have to discern when some of these are going to be coming. So the first thing that we have to look at is new weapons. So there's a couple of new weapons with a lot of game files, images, and things like that that have already been in the game. The first of which that we've actually been talking about for a while now is the AN-94. This is probably going to be the next weapon to come to the game. The AN-94 we know from a lot of Black Ops games, but has never before been in a Modern Warfare game whatsoever. My guess is it'll have a different name. It won't be called the AN-94, but it is based off of the AN-94. As far as when this weapon will be coming, I think it is possible there is enough game files for it to come out during Season 4. However, I think it's a lot more likely to come at the beginning of Season 5 in the Battle Pass. But like I said, there's still time where they can release one more weapon within Season 4, as we've got like 4 to 5 weeks left. The next one is from a leaker that I don't think we've talked about on the channel before, but his handle on Twitter is BKTor, and he doesn't actually tweet in English, but when you translate it, you can see what he's talking about. Also, he normally shows the game files, which I'm actually not allowed to do. But what we can see here is that the game files he's showing are for the SN_Romeo 700 or the Remington Model 700. Now, right away, when I heard this, I thought of the R700 from Call of Duty 4. It was a fan favorite sniper rifle, a fun sniper rifle to use, but in looking at the game files, it looks nothing like the R700. It actually looks a lot more like the Intervention from Modern Warfare 2, which of course a lot of people loved in that game and would love to have in this game as well. So it's going to be interesting to see whether this is more like the R700 or the Intervention from Modern Warfare 2, but from what I'm seeing in the game files, it looks a little bit more like the Intervention. Now, there are a lot of other weapons as well in the game files, but most of them don't have asset folders or camos to go with them, weapon sounds, or anything like that, so I'm not really going to mention those. It is important to mention, though, that as far as these weapons go, it would make a lot of sense for these to be the 2 new weapons that are going to come out in the Battle Pass for Season 5, since there's 2 of them. But as far as that goes, I guess we have to wait and see. like I said before, it is possible that one of these comes out during Season 4 still. The next things that we have here are from someone named Geeky Pastimes. We've talked about him on the channel before, but this is revolving around maps coming to the game. So he said here that there's also some more files linked to Oil Rig, which, as we know, is a remake of the map Offshore from Modern Warfare 3. On top of that, a map named Malyshev. The other thing that he said is there's also a new gunfight map called Drainage. This is actually something that's been in the game files for a while. A new map called Cornfield, which I would actually guess is probably a ground war map that is off the side of farmland. But we'll have to wait and see on that one, and more about Broadcast, which I'm guessing is probably going to be the next 6v6 map with Season 5. It's important to mention that I'm also guessing that most of these maps that he's mentioning here probably won't come out until Season 5, and these are probably the ones that we can expect to see. Speaking of Season 5, this is where, in my opinion, the leaks get a little bit more interesting, but what he said about Season 5 is, I found some pretty cool stuff in the files, like that the Season 5 intro takes place in Stadium. On top of that, there are now files for Season 7. Previously, it only went to Season 6. So there's two things we have to talk about here. First of all, Stadium. So in one of the recent pictures that was put out by Activision, you could see some changes at the stadium. First of all, you could see inside of it. There was no more dome on the roof. There was things that looked like you could grapple to on the left-hand side. It was a very different stadium than we are used to seeing. So we kind of knew that at some point soon, changes were going to be happening to the stadium. Now, the rumor as of right now is this is going to be happening at Season 5. There's going to be a cutscene going on at the stadium. I believe I read something about a bomb being inside. I'm not sure whether it goes off or not, but essentially that is going to be the Season 5 cutscene. And then with Season 5, the stadium will change up. It will open up. You'll be able to go inside, and it'll completely change that area of the map. This is a pretty interesting rumor or leak, if you ask me, and really for that, we'll have to wait for the beginning of Season 5, and if this is true, like I said, we can expect to see some changes for Stadium. The other part of this is the fact that this goes now to Season 7, that there are files for that, means that they are planning things close to the launch of the new Call of Duty game, or even after the launch of the new Call of Duty game. And the reason why we know this is because Season 5 is going to start in August, which means Season 6 is going to start in October, which means Season 7 starts in December, and we pretty much already expect that the next Call of Duty game will come out by at least December. So this tells us either the next Call of Duty game is going to be delayed, or Modern Warfare plans on continuing content into that game, or the content between Modern Warfare and the next Call of Duty game is going to cross over. One of the three. The next thing Geeky had to say was, I'm pretty confident, like 90% sure, that the next two operators in Modern Warfare will be Woods and Zehra. So first of all, Woods we talked about in a video on Friday. Woods coming to Modern Warfare 2. If you want to check out that video, I will link it down in the description. The second character, named Zehra, is actually a voice actor who played a character within Modern Warfare already. That character's name, sorry if I butcher this, is Usa Rahar, which is actually the butcher's wife and mother of his child that you actually torture within the Modern Warfare campaign. So how that will come together, I'm not sure at this point, whether it's a brand new character with the same voice actor or the same character as the campaign. For that, we will have to wait to see, but that is definitely interesting. Now, the one thing I will say about this is I would be pretty surprised if we got Woods as an operator before we got Soap. To me, that would be pretty surprising. But we'll have to wait and see what actually comes. This is what he's predicting. Like I said, for that, we'll have to wait and see. Now, as far as what is going to be coming soon to the game, the one thing that I'm pretty confident might actually be coming out tomorrow is new intel. It seems like they're adding new intel every 2 to 3 weeks within Warzone, so I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if that came out tomorrow. But other than that, there's really not much. Most of what has been leaked to me seems like it'll be coming out within Season 5, which means we have a month with very little content for Modern Warfare, which tells me maybe this is the month we finally get the reveal for the next Call of Duty. Since it's such a slow month for this game, maybe they're planning on that and then putting out a bunch of content about the next game, whether that be Black Ops, whether that be Black Ops Cold War. Maybe that is what is going to be going on in July, or we're about to get a new roadmap with a bunch more content on it that we'll be finding out in the next little while. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is strange to see so much of the content that we know is coming to the game during Season 4 and it all be already in the game. With 4 to 5 weeks left of Season 4, there is a lot of time left with very little content that we know is coming to the game. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they add some surprising changes to the Warzone map, like the train coming, like Stadium opening up early before Season 5. That's an option, but as of right now, it looks like a pretty bland July, but fingers crossed. Maybe they release a new roadmap. Maybe they add some things to the game, but at this point, we don't know. So if you have any theories, ideas, let me know what you think down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you do hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, want to stay up to date on all my videos, the best way to do so is make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, peace out.
Listen!